Hi everybody, my name's Emma Bridger and I'd like to talk to you about the future of employee engagement, or more specifically, the future that I would like to see for employee engagement. So I think it's fair to say that there's a challenge when it comes to employee engagement, what I call the employee engagement gap. There are increased resources, emphasis, focus on engagement, and yet still we're seeing kind of very little improvements and developments. And there are some critics that are sort of saying, actually, it's not working, we're doing the wrong things. Well, what I would say is that we absolutely can see value and improvements when it comes to engagement if we do some things differently. So I'm going to share with you my thoughts on how I would like to see employee engagement kind of develop in the future. So the first thing I'd like to see is an increase attention on return on investment and evidence-based practice. So I think there are a lot of people in organisations today who are absolutely doing, focusing on engagement and doing things for the right reasons, but not necessarily the right tactics. So I think we need to really focus on ensuring that what we are doing has some basis in evidence-based practice, and that we're really thinking about how we demonstrate that return on investment rather than just kind of doing stuff because it feels like the right thing to do. The second thing that I would love to see in the future is a move from a deficit approach in engagement, which is what's broken and how can we fix it, to a strength-based approach. So for me, that is sort of turning engagement on its head and sort of saying, what does great look like for our people? What does good look like for our people? What does high engagement mean? And how can we move towards that? And it sounds like quite a subtle shift, but it really does have quite a transformational impact to move from that deficit approach to that strength-based approach. The third thing that I would like to see more of is organisations really turning up the listening and the involvement as well. Lots of organisations kind of pay lip service to this and they'll say, well, we listen to our people because we do a survey once a year, but for me that's not enough. So I think we'll start to move the dial in engagement when we start to really genuinely listen to people and involve them. And I think in terms of the next kind of area I'd like to see us using a lot more, I think we can listen more effectively and involve people more effectively by using some of the amazing new technologies that are coming through. I haven't got time to talk about them all here today, so have a look at the book because there's lots of information there about them. But there are an amazing array of wearables and different ways of gathering social collective intelligence, or polling, or just real-time listening that we can tap into and use to really turn up the listening in organisations. And then the final thing I'd like to talk about is the need for a much more kind of holistic, cross-team, cross-functional approach to engagement. It doesn't sit neatly in one area. It shouldn't be one person or one team's responsibility for improving engagement in organisations. So I think the more we can kind of take a collegial approach, if you like, and really accept that this is something that has to kind of sit in very many different parts of the organisation, the more likely we are to kind of really make those improvements that we're desperate to see. There's a lot more that I could talk about, haven't got time right now, so again, have a look in the book, and there are not just my thoughts on the future of engagement, but also I've got a couple of other well-known employee engagement gurus to talk about how they see employee engagement going over the next few years.